My name is Natalie Bordley. My role in this production is Glinda the Good Witch.
My name is James Weir, and I am playing the Tin Man.
My name is Dale Fleetwood. I'm playing Scarecrow.
My name is Joe Manhurst. I'm the Cowardly Lion.
Oh, the Lord made me a lion, but the Lord forgot to make me brave.
Hi, I'm Leslie McManus. I'm the director, and I'm the founder and director of Do It Big Productions. I run the Do It Big Productions company. It's an educational theater for homeschooled children, mostly. Well, I'm a homeschooling mother. I've homeschooled for 25 years. I've graduated 8 kids from the homeschooling lifestyle, and so I saw a need there for a time where children could spend outside of curricular activities, some time together with their friends.
Let's go to Uncle Henry and Auntie Em, and they'll take care of her. Auntie Em! Auntie Em!
My name is Marina Yannaris, and I'll be playing Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, but Auntie Em, she hit him.
Outside of this production, I'm a full-time student here at Cecil College. I'm a music major, and I like to play guitar in my free time. I like to sing and dance, and obviously theater, so I spend a lot of time here.
Outside of the production, I do web development for a company in Wilmington called CSC, and then I also operate a freelance graphic design, web design business on my own. I do theater in my spare time because I've always loved performing and I've loved the stage. I've done it since I was a little kid, and I always just found that being on stage and performing and getting the opportunity to portray different characters and bring people joy by doing so is kind of my passion. And I've always enjoyed doing that through stage and song and dance, and being able to throw that all together is just a joy to me.
I like to do this in my spare time because, I mean, it's a lot of fun. Like getting to come here and see all my friends and getting to sing and act with everybody in a community that is so involved with theater, like you don't find that everywhere, and so being able to do what I love with good people is nice.
I recently jumped back into theater after probably a 25-year absence. Grew up doing it in high school, loved it. You know, when I went to college, kind of fell out of the scene, got married, started raising a family, and my son recently graduated from high school, and I decided to jump back in. I just absolutely love it for the camaraderie, and this is actually my first show that I have not done without my son, so it's a little unusual to not have him in the dressing room with me this time. Outside of community theater, I work as a buyer at University of Delaware, buying anything from books to construction projects around the campus.
I'm a physical therapist, just recently retired.
I am a junior at Milburn High School. So, I got into theater pretty late in my life, being 16, that's not, you know. But I was, I think, 12 years old when Les Mis came out, the movie version, and my mom forced me to go see this movie, and I did not want to see it. I was like, it looks boring, da da da. And I'm watching it, and Anne Hathaway is singing I Dreamed a Dream, and I just died in the seat, and I was like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. I never really cared for theater ever before that point. And I don't know how to describe that feeling of like a heart melting into my body. And I begged my mom to get me the CD. I start singing it. I'm like, I start singing with this CD, and I'm like, I don't even notice that I sound good. Like I love this movie, and you know, it just kind of went from there, and I just was like, this is getting very butchery. I mean, we had like auditions at my middle school for like Into the Woods, and I just did it, and that's how it just went from there, and now I'm here. I enjoy doing theater because it's just everything I love to do. I love to sing, and I love to act, and I can't dance, but like, you know, I like to try, and it just makes everything feel okay.
To me, community theater is special because you don't have to be a professional. We'll take anybody. You know, I'm not the best singer. I'm certainly not the best dancer. My strengths are more acting and movement. But then we've got you know, some people that are great dancers but can't act. So there's a place for everybody.
Community theater is amazing because it affords people like myself and actors that the opportunity to be creative, have that outlet where they can share their talents with their community, and many of us may have aspired to go beyond the community theater, but for most of us, life happens and we don't get as far as we thought we would, but we get to share those talents and still exercise those muscles of creativity.
To work on this particular production, it's been just wonderful for me personally because the director is very knowledgeable. My fellow cast members are very talented, which makes then my job harder because I have to then act up to them.
Community theater is really special to me because my whole life throughout high school I've been dancing with the same people for over 10 years. And so when I graduated and I went to school and I needed a place to form relationships with people, and finding Milburn Stone Theatre was probably the highlight of my freshman year. I got to be in the first show of, I think it was this season, maybe not, Singing in the Rain, and I met so many new people, and it was really cool to meet new people and bond in such a short time. And so I think that's why this community theater is really special, because everybody's working together and everybody wants a good show, and you just make friendships on the way, so that's nice.
The community theater is very special because it brings an opportunity for performers to meet each other and gather and do their craft and do what they love together and find other individuals who love what they do. That really brings a special bond for the cast and for those involved in theater in both music and lighting and sets and direction, and you just find a community in community theater. Community theater is also very special for the audience themselves. It provides a form of entertainment for one, but then also allows us the opportunity to share these different stories with a crowd and with people who can come in and view this and just take some time out of their life and enjoy 2 hours this spectacular performance.
Lives of ever a wisdom, ever a wisdom was. If ever a wisdom was, a wisdom was. Because of the wonderful things he does. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Well, I find the staff and crew here at Milburn Stone Theatre to be amazing and very professional. It's a wonderful venue for working with the community. They have a professional atmosphere while they're very open and kind and loving to those that are maybe new to acting. So it's a perfect spot for that.
Everybody in community theater just loves being there, and like no one's forced to be there, no one has to be there. It's just everyone wants to be there and everyone wants to make everyone happy about it, and it's just great.
Working on this production has been so much fun. When I first heard that they were doing Wizard of Oz, I fell in love with the movie when I was little, and so I was like, oh my gosh, I have to be in this show. I don't care if I'm just a munchkin in the background, I need to be in this show. And so it was something I've looked forward to since the beginning of the unveiling when they announced it. So being able to work on it has been so much fun, and seeing my favorite movie come to life was really cool.
This production has been a little different because there was a quick turnaround. I just recently finished a run in the producers here at Milburn Stone Theatre, and I was doing 2 rehearsals at the same time, so it becomes kind of hectic. Your lines start blending together. I started out as just Uncle Henry in this production, and they asked me to jump in as Scarecrow, so it's going to be a leap of faith for me. I have not sung on stage before, so this is my big shot, and I don't want to blow it.
The Wizard of Oz is a timeless story, and I think it's one that really shows Americana at its best. It's a story of a person spreading their wings, yet finding that home is the place where you can always land once again. And the love of friends and family is really the most important thing that there is in life.
I think the story is great. The way the writers juxtaposed fantasy with reality and blended it all into the same story.
This story is just a timeless piece, and it's just so original in that, like, she doesn't have to go chasing around this male figure that she wants to be in love with. It's just, she just simply wants to go home, and she just wants to be with her dog and just have her family to love her, and that's all she needs in the world.
I think someone should come to the show, The Wizard of Oz specifically, because it's showing the movie version that everyone is so well known and knows so well, but it gives a little twist to it. And they get to see and relive that experience, or share that with their families, or share that with their children who may not have seen the movie itself. I think that's definitely one reason to come to the show.
Everybody knows Wizard of Oz. If you don't know Wizard of Oz, there's something wrong with you. It's one of those stories that everyone loves, absolutely loves. Growing up as a kid, we didn't have VCRs. It was that special time of year, I believe it was March or April, every year they showed The Wizard of Oz, and it was a big deal. You stopped everything in your house and you made sure you were home to watch it, because that was your only shot every year to see it. So it transcends generations too. You know, we're talking a 1939 production that's still looks so new to everyone.
This story is very nostalgic for me because, I mean, this was my favorite movie as a kid, and so just every year watching it and every Halloween being one of the characters, it just brings back a lot of memories of my family, and the show is about family and home. And so to see it and to be a part of it is like bringing back a lot of memories, and so it's really fun to be in this.
What makes this show in particular so special is just the variety of performers. Dorothy herself has an incredible lyrical voice. I mean, you will see some truly incredible performers putting on this show that is, it's an age-old tale. everybody knows The Wizard of Oz, and if you don't, it's kind of surprising. So you'll come and see that and be blown away by these performers. Or if you do know the show, you'll come in and see the spectacular performance of something that you know so well, and you'll leave smiling, remembering the first time that you watched Wizard of Oz, and seeing the performers put on those characters that you know so well. And that's what makes this show special to, one, the audience, and to myself in particular.
Someone should come to this show. They know the story, but we're bringing some new things to it. It's not just watching the movie, and that's the great part about theater. We're bringing all of this to life in front of you. We're going to have flying, we're going to have special effects, the lighting is fantastic, and the acting and singing is great. So even though it's a story that you know, you're going to see something new in it.
So the story of The Wizard of Oz is about a young girl who is finding her place in life. I guess at the time, she's probably in elementary school or middle school, and she's realizing that she wants to get out of the small town she's in. She's not comfortable with the laws and the people around her everyone wants something different of her. And then the storm hits, and she gets transported to a brand new realm. She gets out, and for better or for worse, she goes through a series of adventures with crazy characters, the Munchkins and Glinda and the Scarecrow and myself, the Tin Man and the Lion, and then she meets the Wicked Witch, and the story that everyone knows happens. But the meaning behind the story really ends on that final line where everybody knows. She clicks her heels and she says, "There's no place like home." And you realize, even as an adult now going back to it, you realize that that sort of rings true. There's always those places in our lives that we consider our home. Some of us here consider the theater our home, especially Milburn for sure. And there's no place like the place that you consider home. And she realizes that throughout this series of unfortunate events with these cast of crazy, wacky characters. And so the story really rings true, that whatever you consider your home, you can always go back to it. And there's always time to feel like you're at home again. And sure enough, the story ends with Dorothy back at home in the arms of the ones who love her.
I think at this stage in my life, being a mom of kids that have kind of moved on, it means to me that they will remember things from their childhood, and that it'll be pleasant memories, and that they'll want to come back around and visit me. I don't know. But yeah, no, I mean, for Dorothy, she went away, she had to go away to find that the people that raised her, the people that loved her, the people that have been in her life are going to be the ones that are important to her throughout her days.
Dorothy is so original in the fact that she just wants to be loved with her family again while she's away with them from the whole time, and I think definitely kids are just going to appreciate that feeling of wanting to be with your family and that feeling of love with your family, and how it's so original than love with like a totally different person or anyone, because family is just, it's so original and it's the first love you ever have. And you can see how she's chasing that throughout the whole story, and I think it really affects people without them even knowing.
Yeah, this story is important to me because it brings back a lot of memories too. You know, like I said, growing up as a kid, there was no VCRs, there was no DVR. You had one shot a year to see this. And I remember a few times being at my grandmother's and watching this with her, and it was just it was one of those, memories that just sticks with you. And that's, nothing, I don't want to let go of a memory like that.
I think the thing that will resonate most with people when they come to see this show is the sense of nostalgia, like the classic movie that you grew up watching, and then you can come see it to life. And the fact that our cast is so talented, I think everybody's perfect for their roles. So like just coming in to see somebody take on a role of someone you've seen forever and make it their own is really cool. And the production team is amazing, and all the set is gonna look amazing. So it'll be really cool because we have a nice theater and a big stage, so I think it's gonna be a good time.
What would I say to someone who has never seen The Wizard of Oz before? I guess the joke I make here is, have you been living under a rock? But no, seriously, if you have never seen the story before, I would say get ready to experience almost insanity. You go from Kansas, very farmland, calm, just people interacting, to Oz, which is this spectacular realm full of munchkins and witches and animated scarecrows and a man made of tin and a lion who speaks but is also completely scared of everything he ever experiences. So you're going to see something very out of the norm. You go from very much plain Jane to very much Technicolor spectacular experience. So get ready for that, because it's going to take you down, quote unquote, the yellow brick road and get you to this new realm and this new experience, and you'll get to see some very incredible phantasm that you've never seen before. And then you get to roam that all back in and ring it all back in and go right back home to your normal lives and experience all of the whirlwind that is the twister of this story.
As a matter of fact, I know a fella, I was just talking to him the other day, who has never seen this. And I looked at him and said, are you kidding? I mean, this is like an icon in theater, literature. So I did everything I could to encourage him to come to see the show. I said, don't see the movie. You just wait, come and see the show first. Because I can't believe that at this time in our lives that there's not a person alive that hasn't seen this. I just ran across one, so I'm twisting his arm like crazy to come up and see it, because it's a shame if he didn't. I think he'll miss out on one of the nicer things.
If someone hasn't seen this show before, I would immediately say, it will bring you this new life that will just make you feel like a child again, make you happy, and it's just beautiful.
I can't imagine someone hasn't heard this story, seen this story, but if you haven't, please come to Milburn Stone Theatre and check this out, because it's going to be a fabulous retelling of The Wizard of Oz.
If somebody's never seen this show before, I'm saying you're missing out. You need to watch the movie, you need to come see the show. It's one of the most classic movies ever. It's like a fun, family-friendly show, and it's, I'm rambling. I don't know, they need to come see the show. I don't know how you can live your life without knowing what The Wizard of Oz is.
So the one thing that I will say in particular about Milburn Stone Theatre that makes this theater so special is that they truly put together a staff for each show that brings out the best in the actors, the best in the performers, the best in your lyrical voice, and your dancing, and in your performing, and just the performance overall. They always put together an incredible staff. And a lot of that is due to the fact of Dan Combs, who is the general manager of Milburn Stone, who was also the choreographer for the show. So he really wears many hats, and he's definitely an amazing addition to this theater. And then we also have incredible people like our director, Leslie McManus, and our production staff, and our stage director, Caitlin, and just all of the incredible people, and Melissa and Andrew Mitchell, and all of the individuals who work for Milburn, and this production in particular, and all of the productions that are put on here, make every show here spectacular and bring out the best in every performer and every performance. And that's something that you don't want to miss out with Milburn Stone, for sure.
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.